Happy noontime, everybody. Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Midland, Texas, and I'm glad that you will be spending your lunch hour with me. Now, for some of you, you might just be mid-morning, and for other of you, you might be mid-afternoon, and I have some people who watch me from international places, and who knows what time it is there, but I'm glad you're with me today. I have a great new online card class to go, and I'm kind of feeling in the Christmas spirit. Let me tell you why. Today, every other Monday, my husband and I, with a bunch of people from our church, go to a local elementary school, and we do, hi Roz, we do fist bumping. So we make a long line, we act crazy, we have music playing, and when the kids walk in, we fist bump them and say, have a great day, you can do it. Well, today it was all about this being the last Monday before Christmas starts, so we were all asked to dress up festive, and once I got my Santa hat on, I didn't want to take it off. So I've been crafting all morning just like this. So this isn't a show just for you. I don't want to take my hat off because my hair will be a mess, right? So anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you, Roz, for letting me know you're here. When you guys get in and start watching and listening to me, if you would introduce yourself, tell me where you're from, let me know you're here. I would really appreciate that. Okay, so I am deviating from Christmas. I know it's kind of sad, right? I feel like I've been doing Christmas for a very long time, but because this online card class to go is the week right before Christmas, I knew I would not be able to get Christmas in your hands before the holidays. And some people don't care. I have one friend that's like, send it to me. I'm going to do it for next year, which is fine, right? Right, Russ? Kids, most of the kids love it. Some of them get a little embarrassed and don't want to fist bump us, which is fine. And today we did something else as well. We had a hot chocolate and coffee truck come and serve all the teachers in the school hot chocolate and coffee, and it was decorated really cute. It was all lit up. It was fun. We had a fun morning. So so let me tell you what the story is. This host code down here, UHZDHT33, hi Renee, thanks for joining me, is a host code that I'll be using for this week, but after this week it's going to go away. I'm only allowed to use host codes for a month at a time, and it's getting pretty close to this one being over. So UHZDHT33, if you want to get my online card class to go for this week, you will get a kit to make the 4 cards, 3 today, fun fold tomorrow, and a 3D project that I will make on Wednesday, all using the Umbrella Days bundle. That's what I'm working on this week, okay? Next, I have a new class that I just announced via email. So if you want to know about my upcoming email promotions, classes, if you want to get a heads up on all of that, the best way to find out is to join my email list. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining me. Is it cold in Ohio? It is 63 here today. We had a beautiful day yesterday. It was 77 degrees yesterday. It was just lovely. So anyway, this is my next class that will either be in person or to go. It'll be an 8-card class. This is our new bundle called, let me get rid of that one, Delightful Wishes. It's in the new mini catalog that's coming out January the 1st, and you will make 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs, and the cost of the class is $40. Now this is a little upped as far as what do I want to say? How much level of expertise you need to have. I would call this an advanced class because it's going to have lots of die cutting. Look at all those flowers, the wishing, all of that. And I'm going to go back to the other one, Here we go. Look at all the detail in these flowers and everything. So look at this card at the bottom left there. It's just lots of die cuts on that card. So that's what this class is going to be all about. I love it. It's going to be on January the 10th or to go. And we're going to need some sunshine like mid-January, right? So if you want to know about my upcoming classes, be sure that you are a part of my email list. So then you can get the registration links. I will also post the link to this one up in the description after this video is over. It is stunning, Roz. As soon as I saw this suite, I thought, that's it. And there's paper, there's DSP paper, but there's also vellum that coordinates with it. It is just so pretty. So it's the first class I'm going to do in January during celebration time. So it's $40 or free with a $45 order in my online store. So I'll put the link to that up in the registration above. Okay, and one last thing, don't forget, we've got a lot of great prices going on in the last chance part of my online store. So if you would like to get in on some goodies for a lot less or before they go away forever, check out the last chance products in my Tuttle Up shop and see what you can get for a bargain there. Okay, all right, so let's get started. I cannot wait to show you my cards today, and I'm going to move to my hands here. I am going to be using today the Umbrella Days bundle, which is this one right here. You might be saying, but I haven't seen that in any stores. I mean, in any catalogs. And it is in my online store. This is one of our online exclusives. And I could not wait to show this to you guys. You get some clouds, you get puddles, you get pieces to make different kinds of umbrellas, you get the shoe dies, the rain boot dies, the doggy die. You even get a coat for the doggy. You get some fun flowers. You get some grass down there at the bottom. We are using every single one of these dies today in the cards that I'm making. So isn't that fun? Umbrella Days. I like the sentiments in this set that we're going to be using. You are the umbrella to my rainy days. The storm will end and the sun will shine again. And be brave. And you got these raindrops coming off to the side there too. But I decided that I wanted to bring in a stamp set that's been around for about a year, but it partners really well with this because Umbrella Days is all about encouraging to be brave and to be strong during hard times. Comforting Thoughts has all these great sentiments to help people that are going through hard days. I wish I could make this better. Wishing you comfort. Hope this is a feeling better kind of day. Thinking of you, praying for you, hoping with you. You know, the holidays sometimes are really hard on people. And I have a couple of friends right now going through a really hard time dealing with the holidays with lost loved ones or tricky situations with divorces and custody and all that. It can be difficult. So I hope that this is a set of cards today that you really feel like will be something special to the people that you give it to. Okay, so here's our first card that we're going to make today. I love the bright yellow. This is Daffodil Delight. And we're going to use the puddle, the cloud. We're going to use the swirly embossing folder to make it look stormy outside. I love the sentiment, the storm will end and the sun will shine again. Sometimes we need just a reminder. And I got a really cool inside to this card showing the sun shining again and saying that we're praying and hoping for a better day. So let's do this together. This one was super easy and fun. Now, all of these cards have either some paper piercing or some die cutting or blending on them. So they're a little stepped up, but not hard by any means. Okay, so we're starting with a Daffodil Delight piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11 and scored down the middle at 5.5. Okay. Now I think maybe I will start with the inside here. I have a piece of basic white that is 4.25 by 5.5. And I'm going to pull out my blending brush here in Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to show you what I did to the inside. I'm going to just take some of my blending brush and I'm just going to blend some yellow up here in this corner, some Daffodil Delight. Right like that. And then I have a piece of cardstock that I've cut a circle out of. Now the circle that I used was this size right here of our Spotlight on Nature dies. But all I care about is the outline of the circle. I'll use that die piece that I cut out of there for another purpose later on. So I'm just putting my circle here in this spot. I'm adding more ink to that spot right there because I want it to look like the sun has come out and brighter days are ahead. Okay, so I'm just making that a little bit darker right there. I'm going to pull this off and we have our sun shining up in the corner. Do you guys like that? Now for the inside of this one, I am pulling out my Great Granite ink and I'm going to, hi Sherry, thanks for coming me. Pull a sentiment from that Comforting Thoughts stamp set I just told you about. And I'm going to use this one that says, thinking of you, praying for you, and hoping with you. Okay, so on Great Granite, using my Great Granite ink pad, I'm going to ink up that sentiment right here in the middle of that card base, okay, the inside piece. This is going to go on the inside. Let me put this one off to the side here because we're not going to need that anymore. I'm going to add some Seal Plus. Do any of you have friends that are going through a hard time at Christmas? You know, it's a sacred time, but it also can be a difficult time for a lot of people, especially those who have just lost loved ones for sure. Okay, so that's the inside of my card right there. I'm going to fold this in half. Let me grab my bone folder. Better than your fingernails, right? There we go. Now, for the outside, I have a piece of smoky slate, and I inked it up at the bottom here with some Coastal Cabana before I ran it through my embossing folder. This is the Swirls embossing folder right here. Gosh, I've used this for water. I've used it for lots of different occasions. We used it for the otters last week, right? Well, this one I wanted it to look like a storm. So down here is I put some Coastal Cabana, I ran it through, and then I decided after that I wanted to add a little bit of Great Granite, kind of look like a darker sky at the top. Okay, so I'm going to ink up my brush that is my gray brush. I have a brush for my blues, my reds, right, my yellow. I don't know why this isn't wanting to. There we go. And I like how it kind of catches some of those swirls there and makes them a little bit darker. I mean, I don't want it to sound depressing, but people could use a lift me up sometimes, right? So there we go. There is my panel. Gray clouds, water at the bottom. And I'm just going to stick this right on the front of my card base here. But actually, I'm going to put it a little bit to the right corner. And this is cut 3.25 by 5, I believe. Let me do it. It might be 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to add this to my card front here, and I'm just adding seal right to that embossing folder. And look, this is what I'm saying. So about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and the right side. So leaving a little bit more room right there. That's going to help us get our umbrella in the right spot. Okay. All right, now I'm going back to that gray, and I have cut one of the clouds right here, but I didn't want it to be too white. I wanted it to look a little stormy, so I'm just going to take that brush with that gray granite on it, and I'm just going to ink up my cloud a little bit to make it a little bit less white. There we go. Beautiful. And that's going to get popped up right there. See, the white would have been just a little too stark, right? So I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals here. Put it behind my cloud. And it's going to go right there. All right. Next, I have a piece of basic white here that I'm going to stamp on. And I'm going to stamp my grown female with the umbrella. And I'm going to ink her up in Memento black ink. There we go, right like that. And I am pulling in, let me use my chamois and clean that off real quick. These chamois are amazing. And, you know, they look terrible, but they last forever. So I love them. All right, so for this little lady here, I'm starting with my Daffodil Delight light, and I'm going through the whole umbrella here. This light one is needing a new pen, I think. So there we go. There's the light. And I'm going to use my bullet tip for these boots down here. Yeah, this one needs replacing, doesn't it? When it starts to squeak like that and the brush is getting soggy on you, that's a sign that it's time to get a new set of blends. There we go. So there's her boots. I'm going to come in with the dark and add some shading to those spikes on the umbrella. I'm not sure that's what they're called, but for today, that's what we're going to call them. There we go. And across the bottom there, just to give it a little bit of shadow. And then I'm going to come in here on the boots. I am not an expert blender. I feel like I do okay. It's still a learning process, and I've been doing this for a long time. So there we go. There's my boots, and it probably wouldn't hurt to go back in with that light and just kind of you know, get the rough edges gone. There we go. So there's my umbrella and my boot. And next I brought in a Misty Moonlight. I'm going to use the light. I wanted this to look like jeans down here. So I'm going to start with the light. There we go. Bring in a little bit of dark kind of on the edges and where her knee is right there. There we go. And then I have my pumpkin pie for her raincoat. This is light pumpkin pie. There we go. I'm going to bring in some dark to add some texture here, just along where those shadow lines are, or where you might think you might see a shadow. Usually kind of go around the edges. There we go. Go back in with the light again and just kind of blend that all together. How do you guys start with your blends? I usually start with light, add shadows, and then add more light. But some people start with the dark, and that is fine too. So I'm going to grab my pecan pie here, and I'm just going to make her braid be pecan pie colored here. Kind of an auburn braid coming down. There we go. Now, all I need to do is die cut this out. And we have this awesome set of dies that coordinate with this that I just showed you. Here we are. So I'm going to take my large, hi Tian. Is it raining where you are today? I think you get more rain than definitely we do in the desert here in Midland, Texas. But there we go. So I'm just going to hold that into place. I'm going to come over here to my die cutting machine, which is off camera, and I'm just going to run this through really quick. There we go. Isn't she precious? All right. I have a Greetings for All Seasons die that I've already die cut out. And I'm going to add my sentiment to this. And the sentiment I'm using is the storm will end and the sun will shine again. The storm will end and the sun will shine again. So true, right? Even when you don't think the sun will ever shine again, eventually it does. So I'm just going to stamp that right here on this label. There we go. Now, what I did to kind of help me out is I went ahead and attached the woman right there to the side of that label, just to help me with getting it attached to my card front. So here's my seal. I'm going to put a little seal right there on that edge. Roll all those pieces over. That's what I love about seal. And I'm going to decide kind of where I want my girl. I'm going to go a little bit higher, right like that. Okay. Now I'm going to attach her right here to the front of my card, right like that. I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back. Snow in the morning, snow on the mountains around us. I bet it's pretty. I bet it's pretty. Snow-capped mountains are very pretty. I just don't want to be in them. I am not a snow person at all, which is good reason for me to live where I'm living right now. I did a lot of whining about the weather in Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay, lots of dimensionals there. Maybe I'll put one more right in the middle of this little label right here. There we go. So I had a busy weekend. I had my decorative trees class in person on Friday night. I sold 22 kits, you guys. It was a great class, and I wasn't sure if people would want it so late in the season, but they proved me wrong. So that was fun. And then on Saturday night, I participated in, I feel like I need to move that just a little bit. There we go. And a parade here in Midland, the city parade, Christmas parade. I belong to and I work at 2 days a week at a place called Cycle Bar. It's a cycling exercise venue, and I am the front desk person 2 days a week during lunchtime, and that's why I have to have my Facebook Lives on Tuesdays at 10 because I have to work at noon on Tuesdays. So I'm looking for, here they are. So I pulled in, before I do that, I should have right here, a piece of Coastal Cabana. Looks like it might have gotten lost, but we can cut another one. Here's my Coastal Cabana, and I am grabbing a petal right here. You can see I cut two. I don't know where the other one went. And I'm going to put a little petal right under her feet to kind of ground her a little bit. So that was fun. I walked alongside the float. They had biker coaches like my daughter on the float biking through the parade. But I don't have the stamina for that. So I walked and threw out candy canes to the kids. It was super fun. We had a really fun time. Okay, so there we go right there. There's a little petal under her feet. And then one last thing is that I want to add some of these. And what I thought looked the best were these little pearlized embellishments that came with the otters that we used last week. I like these especially that are kind of gray. So I'm adding some large ones, a couple of large ones on here. One was right down here. I had another large one up here. I kind of thought it might look a little bit like rain. They might be too big, but we're using rhinestones on the other cards, and I just wanted to shake it up a little bit. I like it. I like the look of it. And then I'm adding one right down here in the corner. So this is card number 1. I'm going to pop that out while I have it here. The storm will end and the sun will shine again. And then when they open it up, it says, thinking of you, praying for you, and hoping with you. This sentiment came from the Comforting Thoughts stamp set. So I hope you guys like card number 1. I'm going to put that one away and pull out card number 2. Here we go. So card number 2 is super sweet. I really like it. I hope you like it too. It says, you are the umbrella to my rainy days. How sweet is that? With the little youngin under the umbrella with her dog, and it opens. I don't have anything inside on this one. I thought you could just write an encouraging note however you want to. I usually do something inside, but with the white base, I didn't feel like I absolutely had to this time, so we're going with it. So this one starts with a piece of thick basic white that is cut 4 1/4 by 11 and then scored at 5 1/2 again. Okay. Now on the front of this, I have a piece of balmy blue cut 3 3/4 by 5. 3 3/4 by 5. And what I'm going to do on this is I'm grabbing the rain and a balmy blue ink pad right here. And I'm going to put some rain in the background here. So you know you can get this card kit to go in the mail with any order of $40 or more in my online store this week. I will do my best to get them out early next week, but as soon as I can, I promise. I just flipped that around the opposite way, but it's okay. We're going to go with it. There we go. There's our rain in the background. Now this is going to get adhered right here on the front of our card. So that's the rain in our background. Can you guys hear Rory barking? I put her out in the backyard because I didn't trust her to stay quiet for me today. There we go. And there's our background. Balmy blue is what that is. And then I have a piece of basic gray, and I felt like this needed to be grounded a little bit. So this is cut 1.5 by 3 3/4, and then I just banner cut the end on my own with some scissors. So let's put this right across the middle, right like that. Okay. Now I have a piece of the Spotlight on Nature circle. This circle is 8.25 inches in diameter. It has the little slits and dots there around the edges. And I am grabbing again. I am all about blending today with these blending brushes. I just felt like it needed to look a little more rainy and cold maybe in the background. So I'm grabbing my blue brush with my balmy blue ink, and I'm just going to add some ink kind of around the edges towards the bottom of this circle right here. Spotlight on Nature die. So are you guys ready for Christmas? I still have a lot of and that is eventually going to go right there. But before we do anything more with that, we're going to do a little stamping. Okay. So I have a piece, a scrap of white here. You can see that's an otter was cut out of that last week. And I'm going to stamp two things on this. I'm going to stamp my child with her umbrella. I have things ordered and coming to me and bought. I just haven't done any gift wrapping yet. And honestly, with Rory in the house, I'm feeling a little nervous about that. Any of you with pets have problems with your pets getting into the presents in your house? Oh, I messed that one up. I hit the corner. Let me try that again. I'm going to go this way. There we go. Okay. So for my girl with the umbrella here, the only thing I'm going to do with, I need to pull out a whole new bundle of colors. I'm going to use some crumb cake. I'm going to use some bubble bath. I always want to call it bubble gum. And my balmy blue here. Okay, and I'm going to start with, let's start with our dog here on this side. Do I need to zoom in just a tiny bit? Would that be helpful? There we go. So I'm using my light crumb cake on this puppy. I lied. I need to use my pecan pie. So I'm going to go to the pecan pie. My next dog and the next card is crumb cake, but this one was pecan. It wouldn't really have mattered. Okay, so I'm starting with my light pecan pie on the dog. And I don't really have to worry about the middle of this dog because he's going to get a coat on. I'm going to put a little winter coat on him or her. I think it's a her. It's going to be a her because she's going to wear a pink coat. All right, so there is my um, pecan pie pup. I'm going to make the color a little bit darker right there. There we go. And then for my child here, I am going to use my skin tone for her hands. This is S100 is what I'm using, skin tone. I'm going to use Balmy Blue on her coat. Starting with my light Balmy Blue. I'm going to add the dark in. There we go. I'm going to bring in a little more light. I'm going to take my bubble bath. Start with my light on her little leggings right there. And I'm going to bring in some dark again. And then the one last thing I'm going to do here is along these seams of my umbrella, I'm just going to hit it with some bubble gum because the paper may not cover all of those areas, and I want to make sure that it does when I paper piece it. All right, so that's all we're going to do for that. I'm going to grab my dies, and here is my little girl or boy, depending on how you color it. And then here is my puppy. I'm going to grab my Post-it note tape. I just got some new. I tell you, this Post-it note tape, think of how much I use it, really, right? I just ran out of my first 2 rolls like last week, and it's probably been 2 years since I bought it. So it lasts a long time. I get mine on Amazon. If you want me to put the link to that up in the description, I'm happy to. I feel like most of you know about Post-it note tape already. All right. There we go. And you're like, Judy, you didn't finish coloring. Well, let me show you what we're going to do. It's pretty fun. They did great things with these dies. And we're going to die cut out of, I have a piece of Balmy Blue Designer Series paper. This is part of the Subtles 6x6 paper pack. It is very subtle. And I am going to cut out her little shoes, a dog coat for the dog, and some pieces for the top of the umbrella. It's just going to give it a little texture and color to it. I'm going to run this through back here on my die cutting machine right next to me. Okay, here's her little shoes. So, I know all of you out there are so sweet to be here in person. I want you to know, if you're watching it on replay, if it's feeling long between these parts of me coloring and die cutting, you can make the speed go faster. Did you guys know that? There's a little wheel at the bottom of the screen when you're watching it on replay, and you can set the speed for how fast you want the video to go. So if you want me in fast mode, you can put it on 1.25 or 1.5, and it just helps you. I do that all the time. I do that all the time when I'm watching people's videos and I feel like their coloring is taking a really long time. So I'm guilty of that as well. Okay, I'm going to grab a, right here, my tweezers. And I'm going to piece together this umbrella with these pieces that I just cut out. I'm going to add a little liquid glue to the back of each one. Do any of you watch videos on fast speed? If you're like Judy, you just always talk too much. I like to talk. I feel like I'm connecting with my audience, right? So this one is going to go right here. There we go. This one is going to go right here. It's not quite so little, so I don't think it'll take as long. There we go, right in that spot right there. This one. And I just wanted a little pink in between it in case the white showed through. I'm not sure it shows through a lot, but it might show through a little bit. There we go. And let me grab the tweezers for this little piece. Do any of you have the Umbrella Days bundle yet? So if you get this class to go, you will need this bundle. It's available in the online store. Okay, there we go. So there's the umbrella pieced together. I have her little galoshes here. Her galoshes are going to match the umbrella. And they do sell printed ones. I've seen them. I've even owned them before. Printed rain shoes, right? And then my sweet little pup is going to have a pink coat on. Okay. Just got to line up the legs to the coat with the legs on the pup, and then his little ear goes in that little spot right there. There we go. So there is my little girl all pieced together and the pup. So I'm going to come back to this, and I have already cut out a piece of puddle from Balmy Blue. I'm going to add that here to the bottom. Right there. My little girl is going to go flat right here on the puddle, so I'm going to add some flat glue behind her. But my dog is going to get a dimensional underneath him or her. There we go. It's going to go right there. Okay, then I'm going to grab my Balmy Blue, and this time we're going to use the sentiment, you are the umbrella to my rainy days. And I'm going to grab a piece of basic white. Thought I cut some extras here. Here we go. And I'm going to stamp it in Balmy Blue. You're the umbrella to my rainy days. There we go. And I'm going to fussy cut around that. Grab my dies here. I don't want to lose all my little pieces. Okay, I'm going to put those away. And I'm going to fussy cut this out of this basic white here. I'm just going to fussy cut around it. I just move the paper, try to keep the scissors kind of steady. I think a lot of people are waiting to use this when Christmas is over. which is why I waited so long, because I do love it. But I just wanted to focus on Christmas while I could, right? Okay, so this is going to get glued right here, kind of off to the left edge a little bit, like that. All right. It's going to go here, but before I put it down, I'm going to grab my silver twine. Been using this a lot as well. I'm going to make a faux bow, which just means a bow without a knot. It's going to look like a bow from the front, but it's really just looped. And I'm going to grab my tear and tape. I have one more card after this one, and I think you guys are going to love it. It's super sweet. I think this is just a really sweet little set. It will be encouraging. Gosh, that loop just keeps wanting to fly off of me there. Okay, so I'm just going to put this down right here. It's going to just peek out from underneath that circle. There we go. Got it taped. It's just going to peek out from right underneath that circle right there. Just give a little bling to that side. Add some dimensionals to the back of this one. And you know, these videos also serve as a video tutorial for the online card classes to go. So you have me showing you how to put it all together. There you go. What do you think of that one? Do you love it? I love it. Thank you, Sue. I'm glad you're here. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. There you go. So that is card number 2. We have one more to do before we're done today. And I love it. I hope you guys will love it as much as I do. Okay, so it started out really simple and then I made it harder. Do any of you do that? You start out with a simple card and you're like, but what if I, and then it just gets totally out of control. But I do love this card. So here's our last card. It has the dog holding the umbrella and it says, be brave. I love all these little flowers here at the bottom and the grass. All of these dies come in this set. I did a little embossing in the background there. We've got that beautiful silver organza ribbon going on right there. Okay, so let's get started on this one. We've got a lot of flowers. I'm going to try to keep those in there for just a moment. All these pieces here. Sheesh. All right. There we go. Push all of that off to the side there. Oh, don't need those quite yet. There we go. Okay. Don't want to lose them while I'm doing other things here. Okay, so we are starting with a card base, Coastal Cabana, cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. Thanks, Sherry. Hi, Kim from Portland, Oregon. Thanks for joining me today. I don't know if you've ever been here before or not, but every Monday at noon, I start with my online card classes of the week. And you guys may be wondering where this paper comes from. I want you to take a look at that. The back side of it looks like this. You're like, what? Where's that from? Right? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm giving you a sneak peek to a celebration paper that you can get for free starting in January and February. With every $60 order, you get to add something for free. And this is one of them. So pretty. I love bright colors. You guys know that about me. And you get just an explosion. Look at this one of that yellow and and pumpkin, that Daffodil Delight and pumpkin. You get some peach pie, look, melon mambo. We're using this one right here. It has all kinds of colors on it, but the back is Coastal Cabana. So fun, bright. Look at this one, bright, beautiful explosion of color. That's beautiful for sky, right? So fun. So I really wanted some color and some flowers on this card. So I pulled out this Blooming Impressions paper. Starting in January, you can get it for free with a $60 order. So I'm going to take this side with the Coastal Cabana on it, and I'm going to attach it to the bottom. This is a 2-inch wide panel. I'm pretty sure that this basic white is cut 3 3/4 by 5. So this is 2 inches by 5 right there. Okay, and this is going to get added to the front here. But before I do that, I want to grab our Eyelet 3D embossing folder. This one is called Eyelet, and I am going to put this panel inside. I'm going to run it through off camera here on my die cutting machine, and it's going to give some really nice texture to the background of this card. Okay, there we go. Now before I attach this, I did it backwards, but we're going to be okay with it. It's going to look fine. It's just about giving it a little, it looks cute either way. I like it. I'm not going to complain about it. All right. So I'm going to grab my ribbon, and the ribbon that I'm using on this one is the white with the silver edge. Okay. It is called Silver and White ribbon, metallic edged ribbon, silver and white metallic edged ribbon. Okay. So I'm going to put my ribbon off to the edge here, and you can use any embossing folder you wanted to. The point of this is just to give it a little texture to the background so it doesn't look so flat, right? Okay, so I'm rolling this to the right side. I might have said left, and I'm going to tie a bow right here. I'm sure if I said it wrong, somebody will correct me. It always happens. All right, right there. Okay, so this is going to get attached right here to my card front with dimensionals. All right, I'm going to twist this a little bit so it's a little bit sideways there. I'm going to mess with my bow a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back here. And I'm going to add quite a few, actually. Quite a few in the center to kind of hold that ribbon in place. There we go. Let me pull off the dimensionals here and add this to the front of my card. Get them all, got them all. Okay, so let's just attach this centered right here on my card base. There we go. Okay, I'm going to cut those legs off as soon as I'm done with everything. Okay, so now I have another panel that's Coastal Cabana. It is 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. And then I have a white panel that is 3 by 4 1/4. Okay. Now on this panel, I'm going to grab that rain again. I'm going to clean it off first because I can't remember if I did it after my last card. And I'm going to grab my Coastal Cabana ink, And I'm going to ink some raindrops in the background. So tomorrow I will be back with a fun fold card using this suite as well, this bundle. Just got some rain, and I'm just going to kind of go different levels here. There we go. There's my rain falling from the sky in Coastal Cabana. Wouldn't it be pretty if rain was really Coastal Cabana colored? Maybe it is where you live, Deanne, near the coast. Rain here in Midland usually looks a little muddy, to be honest. Okay, so this is going to get put on right here on this panel. But before I do that, one of the dies in this bundle is this die, this edge die right here. And I got some Shy Shamrock, and I die cut some grass across the bottom. Now it only cuts out the top where the grass is, so you can adjust the level of thickness that you want on your grass. And you can see right here, it's in a little tiny spot is where I had to die cut it twice to get the length that I needed. Okay, so I'm going to add this grass to the bottom edge here of my white panel. And there we go. Just going to attach it right there to the bottom edge of that panel. All right, now I can attach this to the Coastal Cabana that's just 1/8 of an inch bare. So it's just giving me a tiny bit of border around the edge of this card. There we go. Okay. I have cut already my umbrella pieces. Oh, they're over here in my other stash. So I cut an umbrella handle out of basic gray. I'll take that back. Gray granite. I cut another of my girl out, but I only need the umbrella part. Okay, I only need the top part of her. So this piece right here, I ran it through, but I only cut off the umbrella part. I didn't need the whole piece of the little girl. And then I have some pieces, just like I did last time, of the umbrella that I cut out of this really pretty, busy patterned paper. So let me grab all my pieces here. I have that piece that goes right there. Might be easier just to recut it all again. I have this piece that goes right there. And I have 2 edge pieces. This one that goes right there. And I need one more. It's going the direction that I want it to, which is this one that goes right there. Okay, so those are my umbrella pieces right there. And my umbrella right here. Okay, oh, handle, I already have one of those out. So, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these pieces on to this basic white just to give it a base. Otherwise, I thought of all the ways that we could make this umbrella piece together with this beautiful paper, right? And you really need something, you need a base underneath it. You just really do. So this is going to go right here next to that one. Look at that pop of color that we get from that new DSP that we're coming out with. There we go. And one more here. How cute. Any of you have a bright umbrella like this one? I love it. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut this part off along the bottom where it really was from that little girl die. There we go. And this is going to pop up right on top of that umbrella handle right there. But before I did that, I want to take this dark gray granite and I want to just add a bubble at the top right there to be the top of my umbrella. Okay, so let's attach the handle to the back side of the umbrella here. And let's use some dimensionals on the back side of that. Oh, what a cute idea, Sue. I love that. Isn't that really pretty DSP? I know, I love it too. That you're going to use it with your Girl Scouts. I think that is an awesome idea. So sweet, right? Okay, I'm adding a little glue to the tip of my umbrella right there. And I'm just going to tilt this way. And there's my little umbrella right there. Okay, now, only thing I have left to do, well, I have several things left to do. So bear with me here. I'm going to stamp my dog in Memento black ink. I'm going to color it in crumb cake for this one. This is the one I was going to do the crumb cake for before, but got my pups messed up. Okay, so that is dark. I want a light. I love that idea, Sue. What a great use of this stamp set. Hope that's what you were saying. That's what I understood from reading. I can't stop and read too much because then I get distracted. So this dog is going to get all colored up because we're not going to put we could put the raincoat on him, but we're not going to this time. He's just going to be a pup holding the umbrella. Oh, thanks. Yes, I was telling at the beginning that Jim and I help twice a month by doing fist bumping with kids at a local elementary on a Monday. And today was our Monday. And since it was the last Monday before Christmas, we all decided to dress festive. So I also have a Santa hat on, but you can't see that. You'll have to wait and see that at the end. And the reason I left my Santa hat on is because my hair was a mess, right? We all know what that's like. So there we go. There's my little pup. I'm going to use a die to punch him out really quick. I'm going to run it here off on my Big Shot off camera. Big Shot die cutting machine, stamping, cut and emboss machine. We used to use a Sizzix brand die cutting machine. And now we have our own. So there we go. There's my little puppy. I'm going to use a dimensional behind him. And pop him up so it looks kind of like he's holding the umbrella, right? Now, I have a label that I cut out of that same greetings set. And for this one, it's going to say, "Be brave." And I'm going to use Coastal Cabana ink. This is from the Greetings for All Seasons dies. Awesome stamp set. Still available. Just totally messed that up. I'm trying to reach over into my screen. So luckily I cut another one and I can try that again a little bit better. There are things that you should redo, right? In a sentiment that is not straight or is catching an edge is one of them. There we are. Be brave. And this is going to go on the front of this with a dimensional or two. Oh, so fun, Sue. Okay, there we go. So there's my little label. I'm going to straighten that out a little bit. I'm going crooked today for some reason. Might be the Santa's hat throwing me off. Okay, now all that's left is our flowers. And you guys, I have a ton of flowers that I already cut. You can cut like 10 of these at a time, which is fun. I'll show you those dies as soon as I pull these all out of here. I cut them in Daffodil Delight and in Melon Mamba. Get all these pieces back in my envelope before I lose them. Oop, that's a lot of little blooms there. We're not going to use near that many, but I cut a lot of extra. So I want to show you the die. The die, here, you can cut out 1, 2, 3, 7 at once there, and 3 at once right here. Okay, so I cut out 10 of the yellow and 10 of the mamba, and I've used them on both cards. So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting dots along my bottom edge right here, just little dots of glue, and I'm just going to put my flowers right on top of those little dots, and it might seep through the center, but you're going to see that that is okay because we're going to add a rhinestone to the center. So I'm just going to lay these flowers right onto those glue dots, and you can see it seep through a little bit in the center, but we're going to add a rhinestone to the top of each of these flowers, and that is going to cover that glue. It dries clear anyway, but sometimes it has a little tackiness to it. So now that glue is just going to serve as a way of holding that rhinestone in place. There we go. That one wanted to be a little difficult. I'm going to grab some of my Daffodil Delight ones here. Press, press. So I've had so much fun being close to my grandkids this Christmas, getting to go to all their events at school. All their Christmas events has been super fun. Okay, I'm going to put a Daffodil Delight one right there. Maybe another Melon Mamba one right here. So our church had a children's program last week, and both my grandkids were in it, and it was super fun. So I just added a little glue right to where that hole is, and I'm just going to add a flower right there to cover that hole in that tag. So there we go. We can always add more if we want to, but now I'm going to grab those rhinestones. And you know what? I just realized I didn't put my rhinestones on my last card, so we're going to have to go back and do that. But we're going to use these littlest ones right here, and I'm just going to add them to the center of each of these little flowers right here. So come back tomorrow. I only have one card tomorrow. You might be like, Judy, I've given you enough of my time already. Tomorrow will be a fun fold card. You guys would never say that to me. You're always so sweet. There we go. Adding a little bling to each of these flowers. Isn't that fun? There we go. And then on that flower right there on the tag. So now I'm going to pop this one up in the center of this card that I have embossed. I'm going to pop it up right in the center right there. I can fiddle with this bow any way I want to. Hey, Sue, I heard that the next Chiefs game that Taylor Swift is inviting Caitlin Clark to sit with her in the, the special booth that she sits in or whatever. I thought you might think that was interesting. But it shows that Caitlin's quite the rock star too, right? There we go. Now, for this one, for the inside, I'm going to take another piece of basic white. I'm going to add this panel to the bottom, just like I did on the outside. I could use either side. It wouldn't matter. I'm really close to being done, y'all, so hang with me just a second. So wouldn't that, gosh, Caitlin Clark, can you imagine her playing basketball in middle school, never dreaming she'd sit at a football game with Taylor Swift? That is pretty cool, I think. Okay. So I grabbed from that Comforting Thoughts, I wish I could make this better. I wish I could make this better. And I'm going to stamp that in my Coastal Cabana. Isn't that so cool? I know. My husband still, what Sue and I have in common is the state of Iowa. She is from there. And my son and daughter-in-law live in Iowa City. So we have Iowa talks all the time. So Caitlin Clark, as you guys know, is the female basketball star from Iowa who's playing in the pros now. And I think it's cool that Taylor's asked her to sit with her at the Kansas City Chiefs game. So how fun. Okay, so here's the card. Do you guys love this one? Be brave with that little puppy. I like the paper pieced umbrella, the blingy flowers at the bottom, and then the inside. I wish I could make this better. I love that. Okay, so here are my 3 cards, and I'm going to add to this one. I have bling on my original, but I didn't put the bling on this one, so let me do that just real quick, so that you know that that is the way it's supposed to be. There we go. Put another one right here. And I put another one right over there. There we go. That could have gone up a little bit higher, but it's fine. So this is card number 2. And then this is card number 1. I don't know. You have to tell me which one you think is your favorite. I'm really liking this yellow one, and it was the simplest one of them all. So these are the 3 cards that I made today. Remember, you can get a kit in the mail with all the parts to make these cards with a $40 order in my online store. Gosh, I made a mess here. I started out, like I said, all these cards started out very simple, and then I just kept adding, but I like the look of them. Do you guys like them? So I think the card is so cute and love the colors. The first card, or which card? The last card. I don't know which one you're talking about, Sherry. So anyway, you guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to my face here, say my goodbyes. I will be back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. with a fun fold card using this same bundle. So join me at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here's the host code for the card kit for this week. If you go to my TuttleUpShot.com, you can buy the bundle and add on the Comforting Thoughts stamp set, and you would have everything you need to make these projects for this week. Okay, so I'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. God bless everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Bye-bye.